Good day, everyone. So today we will be having a review for your upcoming first quarter examination. So pointers, we have first one, imaginary numbers, then complex number. Under sa complex number, meron tayo addition, subtraction, multiplication, complex conjugate, simplifying I, and division. And then we have discriminants, and then last one will be the sum and product of the roots. Now, here are the things that you need to know about everything. So yan, Girolamo Cardano called numbers like square root of -2, square root of -3 as fictitious numbers. René Descartes used the term and blah blah blah. Pakibasa na lang. Next! So first one, ito number one natin. How do we add complex numbers? Especially kapag square root na yung square root of 100 minus square root of -81 plus 2 plus 3i. Now, the first thing you need to do is to simplify all the radical terms, which is yung may mga square root. Square root of 100 now is 10 minus square root of -81. 81 as a perfect square number, tapos yung negative dun sa loob ng radical, it's I. So, this will become 9i plus 2 plus 3i. And then, kapag naka-standard form na yung complex number natin, you just simplify or combine like terms. That's 10 plus 2, meron kang 12. Negative 9 plus positive 3, meron kang negative 6i. So, your answer will be 12 minus 6i. Now, how do we subtract complex number naman? Na may radical expression. So, you have this one, 3, copy mo lang yan. Minus 4 is a perfect square number. Again, negative yun. So, this is 2i minus square root of 9 is 3 plus 3i. Now, for this one, you need to distribute this one, itong negative, dun sa pangalawang expression natin. So, magiging 3 minus 2i minus 3, that's negative times 3, minus 3i. That's negative times positive 3i. Then, you need to combine like terms. So, you have 3 minus 3, meron kang 0. Negative 2i minus 3i, dalawang negative. If you're going to simplify integers, if you have the same sign, you add and then copy the sign. So, 2 plus 3, 5. Siyempre kasama yung I. Since pareha silang negative, negative yan. 0 minus 5i or negative 5i. Next, how do we multiply? We multiply complex numbers just like binomial, distribution or FOIL method. This is 10 times 3, that's 30. 10 times 5i, you have positive 50i. Negative 2i times 3, you have negative 6i. And negative 2i times 5i, you have negative 10i square. Next, you have 30. Simplify mo yung nasa gitna kasi sila yung may dalawang i. That's 50i minus 6i is positive 40 for I. Then, minus 10 times negative 1. Remember, I square in your imaginary number is equal to negative 1. So, you have to change I square to negative 1. And then, simplify again. 30 plus 44i plus 10. Paano siya naging 10? You have negative 10 tapos multiplied by negative 1. That's negative 10 times negative 1 is positive 10. Then simplify mo yung dalawang whole number. That's 30 plus 10. You have 40 plus 44i. So this will be your answer. Next, how do we divide complex number? For this one, we need to use the complex conjugate. Ano yung kukunin mong complex conjugate dyan? Yung denominator. Kunin mo yung complex conjugate ni 5 minus 6i, which is 5 plus 6i. Then, multiply mo siya sa numerator at denominator. So, that's 5 plus 6i over 5 plus 6i. Next, multiply. Numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. So, this is 3 times 5. That is 15. 3 times 6i, you have 18i. 4i times 5, you have 20i. 4i times 6i, you have positive 24i square. Over. Sa denominator naman, since we are dealing with complex conjugate, you just multiply the first term multiplied by the first term, that's 25. Last term multiplied by the last term, that is 36. Tapos i-add mo lang sila. Kapag complex conjugate, you just multiply the first term and multiply the last term. Tapos pag-addin mo yung result ng dalawa. So you will be having 15 plus 18i plus 20i, meron kang 38i plus 24. Again, yung I square mo magiging negative 1 over 35 plus 6 is equal to 61. Meron kang 61 dyan. Next is to simplify. You have now 15 minus 24 kasi i-multiply mo tong positive 24 sa negative 1. So, ibig sabihin, tong positive 24 mo magiging negative 24. So, that's 15 minus 24. You have negative 9. Meron ka negative 9 plus 38i over 61. So, this will be your answer. Next, find the quotient of 7 plus 2i over 7 plus 2i. For this one, you have to divide. Pero, in this case, you have the numerator is also the same as the denominator. So, do we really need to have a solution kapag parehas ang numerator and denominator? The answer is no. Hindi natin kailangan maglagay ng solution. Pero, if possible, kung masipag ka, go. Pero in this case, cancel mo lang lahat yan. This is equal to 1. Diba kapag sa fraction natin, for example, 3 over 3, anong ginagawa? Kinakancel natin yan. Nagiging equals to 1. O kaya naman sa algebra natin, for example, 3x over 3, kinakancel natin yan, tapos ang matitira lang is x, tama? And pag sinabi mong x, meron siyang number na 1 dyan. So, dun napunta yung nakancel mo na 3 over 3. Basta, parehas ang numerator sa denominator, it's always equal to 1. So, simplifying I tayo, how do we simplify expressions in terms of I? So, in this one, you have I raised to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Now, how do we simplify this one? The first thing you need to do is to get the exponent. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. And then, you divide it by 4. After mo i-divide ng 4, kunin mo yung remainder. So, you divide. So, that's 12 divided by 4. Meron kang 3. You have 12. 0. 3. 3 divided by 4. And then, 0. Bring down 4. 34 divided by 4. You have 8. 32 now. 2. Bring down 5. 25 divided by 4. You have 6. That's 24. 25 minus 24, 1, bring down 6. You have 16 divided by 4 is 4. 16, 0, bring down 7. 7 divided by 4 is 1, meron kang 4. And you have the remainder 3. So, sa remainder yung mahalaga dito because we have the pattern. If your remainder is 0, it's equal to 1. If your remainder is 1, it's equal to I. If your remainder is 2, it's equal to negative 1. If your remainder is 3, it's equal now to negative I. Now, ito yung magiging pattern mo. Kaya din natin siya dinivide ng 4 because there are 4 possible answers. At yung remainder mo ang magsasabi kung ano yung sagot. Now, if you have a remainder of 0, then 1 yung sagot. If you have a remainder of 1, then I ang sagot. If you have a remainder of 2, you have negative 1. And if you have a remainder of 3, you have negative I. In this case, you have a remainder of 3. So, you have your answer I raised to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 is equal now to negative I. Ganun lang siya. Next, you have 7. Number 7 na tayo. Square root of negative 21. In your imaginary number, you have square root of negative number is always equal to square root of n. So in this one, 21, hindi mo siya pwede i-factor na may perfect square, hindi rin siya perfect square number. So ang gagawin mo lang is to remove that negative sign on your radical. How? You multiply this expression by negative 1 so that your square root of negative 1 is I. Tama? You have I square root of 21. Ganyan lang siya. Kapag hindi siya pwedeng i-factor na may perfect square number at hindi rin siya perfect square number, ilabas mo lang yung negative doon sa loob ng radical. Next, find the equation of the roots 7 and negative 11. Again, in this one, you are going to use the formula x squared minus r sub 1 plus r sub 2 x plus r sub 1 times r sub 2. It doesn't matter kung ano yung r sub 1 or r sub 2. It doesn't matter kung ito yung r sub 1 mo na 7 or yung negative 11, kahit ano. So, x squared minus, that's 7, plus negative 11, x plus 7 times negative 11. Now, you have x squared now minus, have 7 plus negative 11, meron kang negative 4. Tapos x. Dito naman, meron kang 7 times negative 11 is negative 77. Then simplify all the signs. Ito, i-multiply mo tong negative sa negative 4. So your equation now will be x squared plus 4x minus 77. Ayun o, positive times negative kaya siya naging negative. Ito naman, negative times negative kaya siya naging positive. Next one. Find c so that the equation x squared plus 10x plus c has one real solution. Remember, we have the discriminants. Ngayon, sa discriminants, meron tayong tatlong cases. If b squared minus 4ac is greater than 0, meron kang b squared minus 4ac is lesser than 0, and b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0. Ngayon, itong greater than is two real solution. Itong lesser than is no real solution. And kapag nag-equals to 0 si b squared minus 4ac mo, meron tayong 1 real solution. Now, ang sabi sa problem, ano yung magiging value ng c para si x squared minus 10x plus c merong 1 real solution. So in this one, eto yung dapat mong gamitin na formula. Kasi siya yung formula na 1 real solution. So, you have b squared minus 4ac. And then, substitute mo yung a, b, and c na ito na equation na to. Let's find a. Your a is equal to 1. Your b is equal to negative 10. And your c, siya yung hinahanap natin. So, you have b squared minus 4ac is equal to 0 will be the formula that we're going to use. So, substitute. Negative 10 square minus 4 times 1, then c is equal to 0. You have negative 10 square is 100. Minus 4 times 1, that's 4. Tapos yung c is equal to 0. Transpose mo sa negative 4 sa kabila. Meron ka 100 is equal now to 4c. Then, to find the value of c, we need to divide both sides by 4. So, c now is equal now to 25. So, si 25 ang value ni c para yung equation natin na x squared minus 10x plus c, maging 1 real solution lang siya. Next, find the sum and product of the equations x squared minus 3x is equal to 7. The first thing we need to do is to make this equation in standard form. Paano natin gagawin yon? We have to transpose 7 dun sa kabila para 0 lang yung matira sa kabila. So you have now x squared minus 3x minus 7 is equal now to 0. Now, in your sum and product, your sum now is equal to positive 3 and your product equal now to negative 7. Now, how did I find that one without substituting? The shortcut is, kunin mo lang yung middle term, baguhin mo lang yung sign. Yun na yung magiging sum. Then your product, kung ano yung last term mo, yun yung magiging product mo. Now, if I'm going to give you another example, for example, x squared plus 10x minus 30, your sum in this example is negative 10. Again, kunin mo yung middle term, palitan mo yung sign. Your product is equal now to negative 30. The product, kung ano yung last term, yun yung magiging product mo. Now, hindi mo magagawa tong shortcut na to kapag si first term mo hindi x squared. If you have 5x squared plus 11x minus 16 is equal to 0, hindi mo pwedeng gawin yung sum and product na kunin mo lang yung middle term, palitan mo yung sign, or kunin mo yung last term, gayahin mo yung sign. No. So, what we're going to do is to make your first term x squared. How are we going to do that? We have to eliminate your coefficient of your first term by dividing all the terms by 5 para makancel yan so that x squared na lang siya. Plus, it doesn't matter kahit di mo siya masimplify, you have your middle term is 11x over 5 and your last term will be negative 16 over 5. So, your sum, kunin mo lang yung middle term, that's 11 over 5, baguhin mo lang yung sign. Your product now, kopyahin mo yung last term. That's 16 over 5. So I hope this will help you review for your upcoming exam. Again, your pointers to review: imaginary numbers, complex numbers na addition, subtraction, multiplication, complex conjugate, simplifying, and division. Then you have the discriminants, and the last one is the sum and product of the roots. Good luck and kaya niyo yan.